Alright guys, welcome back. Today's video is a quick tip video if you aren't familiar with those. Basically, I talk about a certain topic in or around the 5-minute mark, just depending on what we are chatting about. So for the past 3 videos, I don't know if this same person has been leaving this comment or if a lot of people just want to see this, but I've had so many thumbs up to talk about my favorite brushes in a video. And so I thought this would fall into a quick tip video fairly easy, and that's what I'm going to do for you guys today. Not only that, I'm going to one-up you and I'm going to talk about my favorite affordable brushes, because most of my brushes, at least my favorites that I use daily, are affordable. So I've got about 10 here, and let's just go ahead and start. The first one is a foundation brush by Japonesque. So I'm kind of going to go from category to category. So for foundation, this is the brush that is like one of my favorites. I don't use brushes for my foundation always. Normally I'll use a beauty blender, but this is just a wonderful quality brush. Japonesque, they just make really lovely brushes at a decent price, and this actually came in a set. It does not have a name on the handle, so I will list that set down below. I'm fairly certain it was like buy one get one half off, so the set ended up being probably around 20 bucks for a couple of brushes, but this one right here, really great quality. For powder, this is Target's brand of cosmetic brushes, and it's called Up and Up. So this is the Up and Up powder brush. I'm sure you guys have heard me talk about Up and Up on my channel for at least a couple years now. I want to say at least 3 years, and I've had this brush for at least that amount of time, and it still holds up amazingly well, even through washes. It's very soft, and it just applies it applies powder wonderfully. It's that great kind of big shape, so you can just kind of press into your skin. Absolutely love that. Moving into contour, let's talk about a contour brush. This is another one from Japonesque that I recently discovered within the past like 4 months. This is their Kumadori brush line, and I have another brush that I'm going to talk about from this line, but this one is particularly for contouring, and it is an identical dupe for the NARS brushes. I can't even think of what those are called, but they're really, really expensive, and they look just like this. I feel like Japonesque probably did kind of rip them off a little bit on that design, but these are wonderful. I love this for contouring, but do be forewarned, these do kind of shed a little bit. After you've washed them and used them quite a bit, they'll kind of slow down on that, but they do shed, so just wanted to point that out. But Kumadori contour brush, it is absolutely phenomenal. Moving into blush, let's talk about another Target Up and Up brush. This is simply the Target Up and Up blush brush. Love this. It is literally the perfect size just to kind of like pat blush on your face. I also use this for highlighter. Oftentimes I will use this for my blush and my highlighter, especially if I'm traveling, so I can cut down on my brushes. Now, if I'm just at home, I really like using this brush from Up and Up. It is a setting brush. It's a setting brush, but as you can see, it kind of has that perfect, just tapered highlighter look. So if you like your highlighter to be a little bit more intense, this will apply it, you know, quite dramatically compared to something that's a little bit more broad like this. So Target Up and Up for the win. I will link all of these down below, just because I realize this is going to be a lot of information in a short period of time. So let's go into bronzer. One of my favorite bronzer brushes, again, we're going to go back to that Kumadori line, again from Japonesque. This is the brush. It's basically a larger version of the contour brush, and it is just, again, phenomenal. It applies so softly, so delicately. It doesn't streak your bronzer, and it's like the perfect size. I just love this bulb shape, and I love that these brushes are, you know, around the $20 mark or less, depending on what type of sales Ulta is having at that time. So I also really like this brush for bronzing. This was kind of like my holy grail before I found those Japonesque brushes. This is the blush brush from Real Techniques. Real Techniques, definitely a wonderful brand to check out if you are looking for quality, affordable brushes. They do amazing brushes. I think literally a makeup artist could stock a new makeup artist could stock their brush kit for probably around $100 or less if you went out and bought some Real Techniques brushes. And I love this one for bronzer and also powder. You can use this for a lot of different things. I mainly use it for my bronzer. I have two concealer / under eye setting brushes. I use these for powder concealer and also just setting my under eye in general. The first one is the Real Techniques contour brush. This is an old school brush. I feel like everyone on YouTube has this brush, but I love it for setting my under eye area. And I also use it with my bareMinerals Powder Well Rested Concealer. It is so amazingly good. It just makes, especially if you use powder concealer, it makes the product just look so smooth and blended and airbrush. Japonesque also makes one that's really, really similar. This is one that does come also in a Japonesque set. And this is what it looks like. It's just a little bit larger than the Real Techniques one and also a bit more tapered. You could use this for so many different things. You could use it for highlighter, you could use it for contouring, or you could use it again just to set like the under eye area. And so these are two that are great multitasking brushes. You can use them for a lot of different things. And that's why I pick a lot of these brushes. That's why they're in my favorites. You can use them for so many different things. So now we're going to wind it down and talk about a few of my favorite affordable brushes. Obviously, Real Techniques, their eye brush sets are pretty awesome. Now, I haven't found, I know they've come out with some new ones lately and I haven't picked those up, but I would say Real Techniques eye brushes are really good for those of you who like very simple looks. You're not into like the intricate detail, like a cut crease. Not saying you can't do that with these brushes, but I absolutely love the Dome Shadow Brush, this one right here. I love this for cream shadows and blending creams out on my eye. And then the Luxe Crease Brush, I use this to kind of like buff out harsh edges, and I also use it to apply concealer to my eyelid. Also, this is the Real Techniques Brow Brush. This also comes in their little eye set, or one of their eye sets, and I use this for shadow liner, eyeliner, and occasionally my brows. I don't normally use powder for my brows, but if I do, this is the one that I'll use. And then last but not least, I feel like my eye brushes are where I spend a little bit more money on, so I don't have a ton to talk about in this affordable category, but Zoeva brushes, I feel like they don't get quite enough love on YouTube. I feel like it's because they are I cannot remember where they're located. I keep wanting to say that they're like a Scandinavian brand, but I know that they're not. I'm sure somebody will put it down below where this brand is located at. But I feel like that's why not a lot of people are able to get their hands on them. But I love their brushes, especially this Rose Gold collection. I have a lot of brushes from this collection. And this brush right here is called the Luxe Petite Crease Brush. I use this for my crease. I use it to blend shadow underneath my eye. I use it for my inner corner. I use it to smoke out my lash line. It's like this little guy can do pretty much anything. I love the shape of it. And Zoeva, again, as a brand, they're not outrageous on their brush prices. I would compare them to be somewhat, maybe a little bit more expensive than Morphe, but the quality is amazing on Zoeva brushes. So if you haven't checked out Zoeva for brushes, definitely would recommend. Alright guys, so those are my favorite affordable brushes that I use on the daily, on the regular. Let me know what your favorite affordable brushes are down below, your favorite affordable brush brand. I know that there are several out there. These are just the ones that I have, that I continuously repurchase, and that I continuously use on a daily basis. So hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have any questions for me, feel free to leave them down below, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye.